So on Monday, Ghislaine Maxwell testified in front of Congress. She appeared virtually from her cushy little 5-star prison resort in Texas instead of the maximum security facility that she was in a year ago, but Trump had her moved for no apparent reason other than to buy her silence, and it seemingly paid off. Because during her testimony on Monday, Maxwell invoked the Fifth Amendment pretty much every time she was asked any question. She didn't want to give any answers. And then her lawyer insisted that she wants to answer those questions. She really, truly, genuinely, from the bottom of her heart does. The public deserves the answers, her lawyer said. Lawyer by the name David Oscar Marcus. But Marcus posted on social media saying, quote, "If this committee and the American public truly want to hear the unfiltered truth about what happened, there is a straightforward path. Ms. Maxwell is prepared to speak fully and honestly if granted clemency by President Trump. Only she can provide the complete account. Some may not like what they hear, but the truth matters. For example, both President Trump and President Clinton are innocent of any wrongdoing. Ms. Maxwell alone can explain why, and the public is entitled to that explanation." So I love how you're already buttering up Donald Trump like she's going to say you're totally innocent and everybody deserves an explanation and only she can give it. But she can only give it if you give her clemency so she doesn't get prosecuted for all the crimes she is going to tell you that she did, because holy hell, I know y'all prosecuted her, but you missed a lot. Yeah, I mean a lot of crimes that you didn't get her for. So she's going to need that clemency. That's what that statement means. That's what that means. Yeah, you got her. You didn't get her for everything. The Fifth Amendment is fucking stupid. Let's just say it. Let's just admit it. The Fifth Amendment is absolutely stupid. I don't like it personally. You may have a different opinion. You may be able to point to like one single instance where you're like, well, if this person, this one time in one particular instance hadn't had it, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I genuinely don't care anymore. Like, oh no, we have to protect people from admitting they committed crimes. No, we don't. Why? Why is that a thing? Honestly, I want some good, real explanation as to why somebody not, or somebody being protected from incriminating themselves is a good thing. They committed crimes. And we have an amendment that prevents them from having to admit they committed crimes. That doesn't seem like a smart idea. If you committed crimes and you accidentally admit to it, then you still committed a crime and still should, be convicted, or at least go through the justice system. Maybe you get convicted, maybe you don't, right? And look, sitting here and saying we should get rid of part of the Constitution may not be the most popular thing ever. But I think a lot of us, if you actually sit down, look at what's in that document, there are some things like the Fifth Amendment that really kind of don't make that much sense in modern day America. Maxwell committed more crimes than what we got her on. She is now effectively blackmailing Donald Trump and the entire American public, telling us only I know the truth and only I will give it if only he will give me the pardon. That shouldn't be a thing. She, in her position, with her convictions, should not be the one with all the fucking power. But she is. Make that make sense. She is the one calling the shots from her 5-star resort prison in Texas. If that doesn't make your blood boil, then I don't know what will. Let's go to comments. Send her back to the prison she belongs. I agree. She should never have been moved in the first place. That was Donald Trump's attempt to buy her off at the time. And it worked for a little while, obviously, right? Like, she's not coming out and saying things, but now she wants more. She's not happy enough with what she's got. Quintessa says, pardon her, let her tell all, and deport her to the UK. We'll put her back behind bars again for life in general population. We don't have the fifth. Interesting. You know, when you think of it that way, right? You know what? That's not a bad idea. Also, by the way, if she were to be granted clemency or have her sentence commuted or get full pardon, whatever, how does she think she's going to fare? Right? Because in prison, she is protected. You know, we got a lot of crazy people in the United States. Let's be real about that. Crazy people who don't take too kindly to the things she was convicted of. I mean, even in prison, they don't take too kindly to that kind of stuff. So how does she think she's going to fare when she doesn't have prison guards to protect her from people who want to do her harm? Like, how's she going to fare going to the grocery store, right? Or finding an apartment or a place to live, walking down the street. So if I were her, I wouldn't want the pardon. I wouldn't want to go back to the horrible prison, but I'd be like, look, give me a life sentence here at this nice, cushy little place, and then I'll tell everything, because I know as soon as I step out of these prison walls, there's going to be people there waiting for me. And wherever I go for the rest of my life, there will be people there waiting for me. And there will be. And I think she knows that, but I don't think she's really got the capacity to like fully process what that would mean. Like, you're going to be looking over your shoulder for the rest of your life. Anytime a car backfires, you're going to hit the ground. Jim Close says, yeah, she'd be safer in prison than being out. Farron, how do we get her to talk? Truthfully, this is America, right? She's not going to talk. She's absolutely not going to talk. And I'm not saying that, if she gets the pardon, then she's going to back out and be like, haha, I'm not going to talk. Because once you accept a presidential pardon, you actually do forfeit your Fifth Amendment rights. But given what we know about the list, given what we know happened to Jeff, she's never going to talk. One way or another, they're not going to let her talk. That's what I think about that. Thanks for watching, and if you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and do not forget to like and comment and share widely among your friends.